But in the very beginning, he refers to the cognizable object, right? Which he says he has previously explained. So that is on page 80, and there he writes, here no one teaches another, nor is anyone self-taught. So while explaining the difference between the banking system and the problem-posing system, he then gives the banking system a little more explanation. The banking concept, which with its tendency to dichotomize everything, distinguishes two stages in the action of the educator. During the first stage, he cognizes a cognizable object while he prepares his lessons in his study or in his laboratory. During the second, he expounds to his students about that objects. The students are not called upon to know, but to memorize, and so on. You can read it at your own, and of course we have already discussed it previously. So let's simplify this. What is a cognizable object as a teacher in the banking system? What you, me, and everyone else does. I'm a post-colonialist. My cognizable object is post-colonial theory or a novel by Salman Rushdie or someone else. When I prepare my lectures or classes, I pretend or I believe that I know it. That's my cognizable object. I build a lesson plan on it, right? Then I take that cognizable object and present it to my students. I present my knowledge as stable, unchallenged, and probably final. My students are not expected to teach me something. They are expected to remember what I explained, what I said about that cognizable object, right? And then reproduce it. There is no critical thought going on. That's what he means by that sentence in the beginning of what I just read, that revolution must not become that. It must not become something that is offered to the people by the leaders as a cognizable object that they only understand and that people take and then act upon it, whatever the leaders say. Right? The tendency, what he's trying to forestall against, is this idea that somehow the leaders get to decide how the revolution ought to go because they understand it better, right? They understand the world better, and the people, yet again, may be treated as objects, right? Or, in the worst case scenario, mobilized to seek the wishes of the leaders. The revolutionary act or revolution for him must constantly be informed by the people. And the reason is because they live in the real world, right? It's that reality that we are trying to transform. And if we're going to transform that reality, it has to be a kind of transformation in which people are a part of it too. The transformation must undo the previous system of a top and a bottom, and it cannot do that if the revolution itself isn't a communion between the people and the leaders. And the leaders cannot be self-appointed, right? They have to be chosen by the people.